Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you guys are all having a good start to your season. In this video, I'm gonna highlight 5 all-mountain snowboards from the last couple seasons of reviews. These are all boards that are gonna be very versatile and capable in a wide variety of terrain and snow conditions. Let's jump into it. All right, so one thing all these boards are gonna have in common is a directional design, but the degree to how directional they are is gonna vary from board to board, so I'll get into that as we talk about each individual snowboard. And the first one I want to highlight is the Jones AVIATOR 2.0. So this is going to be one of the more twinish snowboards on the list, but it does have a directional outline. You're going to find a slightly longer nose than tail outside the front contact points, giving it a little bit more surface area up front, as well as 2 centimeters of taper. So the tail is going to be noticeably narrower than the nose of the snowboard, reducing the surface area in the back, but the stance is centered. So it's going to come through with that directional twin feel. You're going to find a full positive camber profile in this one, so traditional camber from contact point to contact point, giving it that more energetic, powerful, and locked in feel that you'd expect out of positive camber, as well as some other great tech from Jones. You're going to find their 3D contour base, so in both the nose and the tail, you're going to get a little bit of a spoon shape going on up there. It's going to help give the board a little bit more efficient glide and powder. That combined with the taper and the directional outline is going to be everything to help this board out in soft snow. So it is going to provide a benefit on those powder days if you do take it out on a deeper day. It's also going to run Jones traction tech, so you're going to find 3 added contact points throughout the side cut on this one. It's going to help the board bite down more on icy firm conditions. It's very noticeable and I think a great value add for a more all-mountain approach to your riding, as well as some basalt stringers to give the board more energy and a dampening benefit without really increasing the weight, plus a sintered base, which is a higher end base material known to be harder, faster, and more durable compared to an extruded base. And one last thing I want to call out tech-wise is the AVIATOR 2.0 is going to have a choroid cutout in the nose of the snowboard. It's going to help reduce the weight in the front of the snowboard. It's going to add a dampening benefit, and it kind of creates a little translucent window in the nose of the snowboard that the sunlight can shine through, which is pretty cool as well. I'd say the flex on this one is right around a mid flex, or maybe just a little bit on the stiffer side of medium. It's going to come through with some nice stability. It's going to have your back through more technical lines as you're out there exploring. The traction tech is a big standout for me, and it's still very freestyle friendly as well. For park laps, it's going to be a little bit more jump leaning, but still have a good feel all around in there, and definitely a solid choice getting out looking for natural features as well. This is just going to be a solid all-around resort explorer. And the next board I want to highlight is the NIDECKER Alpha. This one's going to be a little bit more directional with a significantly longer nose outside the front contact points, giving the board much more surface area up front to help you out in soft snow. It's also going to run a slight taper. You're going to find 2 millimeters of taper on this one, as well as a 15 millimeter setback. So the insert packs are shifted a little bit closer to the tail, naturally keeping your weight further back on the board. You're going to find a directional camber profile in this one, but it is still camber dominant. It's like a shifted camber. So camber through the main body of the snowboard from your front foot going back almost all the way to the tail contact point, with reverse camber going out into the nose to help give it a benefit in powder and also make it a little bit easier to initiate turns. You're going to get a little bit of a 3D contour in the nose of this one as well. Again, a bit of a spoon shape up front to give it a more efficient glide and powder, as well as a lot of carbon built into it to maintain a nice energetic feel and make it a little bit more powerful while keeping the weight down. There's some Kevlar built into it as well for durability, and all that's also going to provide a bit of a dampening benefit, as well as a sintruded base. It's an extruded base material with carbon infused. It's going to be less maintenance, and if you get any deeper scratches out there exploring, at-home repairs are going to hold up a little bit better. I'd say this board is going to offer a pretty comfortable mid flex, and a couple of the biggest highlights for me is the powder performance. This thing floats really well. It's going to have a great feel in deeper snow. It's not a board I would hesitate to take out on a pow day. Still quite maneuverable as well, considering it does have pretty much a full tail on it, as well as the freestyle friendly flex and feel you're going to find on it. It's definitely more of a novelty to take into a proper terrain park, but for hunting down natural features, hitting side hits and stuff like that, it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're looking for something a little more directional that has a great feel in soft snow and still very versatile just for general exploring, check out the NIDECKER Alpha. And the third board I want to highlight is the BURTON Hometown Hero. This is like an all-mountain freeride focused board on the BURTON lineup. It's going to have a slightly directional outline, so a little bit of a longer nose outside those front contact points, as well as 12 millimeters of taper and a 40 millimeter setback. So the insert packs are shifted significantly closer to the tail, but the stance is centered in the side cut, so it actually feels pretty twinish on hard pack and still rides switch pretty well. It has a twin flex and runs a shifted camber profile as well. So still camber dominant with positive camber from your front foot going all the way out to the rear contact point with reverse camber out through the nose for a benefit in soft snow, as well as a significant amount of carbon built into this one to help give it some nice energy and snap, the channel system for unlimited stance width options, and a sintered base. I was able to spend quite a bit of time on this one at both Mammoth and North Star. I'd say the flex is going to be on the stiffer side of medium. It's going to have a more powerful and slightly aggressive feel to it. That's one of the biggest highlights for me. This one comes through with a lot of stability. It's going to be able to power through crud and more choppy snow conditions while keeping you feeling confident and in control. And it's also surprisingly freestyle friendly. This is a board I wouldn't hesitate to do some park laps on. It felt really, really good out there at North Star, hitting rails, hitting jumps, pretty much anything you want to do in the park. Although with how stiff it is, I'd say it's a little bit more jump leaning. So if you're looking for an all mountain board that's going to offer a slight benefit in soft snow, going to be able to power through more treacherous snow conditions and still be a lot of fun in the park, check out the Hometown Hero. And real quick, before we move on to the last couple of boards, I want to let you guys know that all of these snowboards are going to be linked in the description below this video. You can read more details about them there, but if you plan to do any shopping online, you can use those links to support the channel at no additional cost to you. I really appreciate it. And the fourth board I want to highlight is the CAPITA NAVIGATOR. This is going to be the most free ride leaning board on this list. It's going to have a significantly longer nose outside those front contact points. It runs around 12 millimeters of taper depending on the size that you choose, and a 1 inch or 25 millimeter setback. This one runs a shifted camber as well, so camber dominant with positive camber through the main body of the snowboard, reverse camber outside your front foot running out to the nose, and a tiny rocker release in the tail as well. You're going to find 2 large cork dampeners built into the nose of this one, as well as 2 large carbon fiber beams that are going to work together to iron out any chatter and vibrations, as well as a sintered base. The flex is on the stiffer side of medium and it runs a longer side cut, so it's going to feel comfortable cruising around at higher speeds. And some of the biggest highlights for me with the NAVIGATOR is the stability and responsiveness it's going to offer, the damp feel powering through more chopped up conditions, as well as the smooth, energetic flex. This one's going to offer some nice pop as well. So if you want to try something that's a little more directional, going to float really well and have a good feel on those deeper days, but still be really capable for just general carving and exploring, consider the CAPITA NAVIGATOR. And the final board I want to highlight is the Never Summer Harpoon. This one's going to have a much longer nose than tail. It runs 13 millimeters of taper and has a 2.3 inch or 58 millimeter setback. So the insert packs are shifted way closer to the tail on this one. It runs Never Summer's Fusion rocker camber, so rocker dominant overall with camber zones under your feet and an extended camber zone under your back foot for a little bit more power out of the tail of the snowboard. It's going to offer an overall benefit in powder and soft snow, as well as make it quick and easy to turn with kind of a pivot point between your feet with that main rocker section there. You'll find their power grip side cut for a little benefit in icier conditions, as well as a lot of carbon built into the layup of this one in both the body and in the tips. It's got multiple dampening technologies built into it, as well as a sintered base, and it's volume shifted. So you can size down on this one for more maneuverability, and it has a naturally wide shape to it, which is a nice benefit for carving or if you have a larger boot size, as well as offers more surface area for powder and soft snow to help give it more float combined with all the directional features. I rode this board in a 152, and at that size, you're gonna find a 26.1 centimeter waist, so it is decently wide. The flex is a pretty solid mid flex, and the biggest highlights for me on this one is the overall damp feel, just the general versatility you're gonna get out of it, as well as how surprisingly freestyle friendly it is. Kind of like the Alpha, it's a bit more of a novelty to take into the park, but it's not necessarily something I'd shy away from. Definitely gonna be a really fun one for natural features. It's got everything you want for float and a maneuverable feel and powder. It's got the stability to back you up as you're out there exploring. So I think all that combined makes it a solid all-mountain choice. I narrowed this list down from over 80 snowboards, so I got a couple notable mentions as well. First is the Rome Stale Cruiser, really fun, capable directional twin with a stiffer side and medium flex, as well as the Battalion Goliath, full positive camber directional twin, gonna offer the benefit of Battalion's 3VT. So hope you guys found this list helpful. Let me know if your favorite snowboard made it on the list. Don't forget, you can find all these boards linked down in the description below. Drop a like if you got some value. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I appreciate all you guys, and I'll see you in a new video next time.